Mr. Michael, you need to come to the school immediately. You need to come to the school immediately. Jayden is an animal. He's an animal. Good day guys, and welcome to my channel. Michael was pacing about while taking a phone call. He had been on the phone for over an hour. It was a very busy month for him, and this was just one of the so many calls he had to take during family time. He had some major potential funders coming into town. Michael runs a small tech startup and needed funding to be able to scale. He had to do everything within his power to convince the sponsors to invest in his startup. Jayden sat across the living room with a gloomy face while watching his dad go at it. This is supposed to be family time. Dad made the rules, but here he is breaking them, he said to himself. Jayden, who was very fond of his dad, had been putting up with this for some time now. Michael hadn't been giving him much attention. They had barely even played FIFA together for weeks now, and this was their favorite activity. The gloom on Jayden's face was different this time around. He was troubled. He looked so bothered and he wished he could talk to his dad, but he was scared of interrupting Michael's phone call. I just wish I could talk to him, Jayden said to himself. The following day, Michael stood in the boardroom delivering his speech to the investors when his phone rang suddenly. It was a call from the principal of his son's school. He ignored the call and continued his speech, but the phone kept ringing continuously. Michael excused himself to take the call. Hi, Mr. Henry. This isn't really a good time. I'm in the middle of a board meeting. Please, can I call you back in 30 minutes? Michael asked. You need to come to the school at once, yelled Mr. Henry. Jayden is an animal. Michael's heart raced. What happened? What did he do? None of his questions were answered as the principal urged him to come to the school at once. Michael walked back into the conference room looking very worried. I'm really sorry, but I would have to postpone this meeting to 4 p.m. due to a family emergency. I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. Michael made his way for the car park and drove as fast as he could to Jayden's school. His heart couldn't stop pounding as the principal's comment kept replaying in his head. He is an animal. Jayden is not a violent child. What could he have done? Michael thought out loud. Michael entered the principal's office, and Jayden sat there with his head bent down in shame. What did he do, Mr. Henry? Michael asked. Your son hit his classmate and pushed him down. The boy he hit has been rushed to the school clinic as his head is swollen from the fall. For this, Jayden has been suspended for the rest of the day. Oh no, I must see this child at once, said Michael. Mr. Henry walked with Michael to the school clinic, and Michael had mixed feelings as he was a bit relieved and a bit disappointed at the same time. The boy's injury seemed over-exaggerated as the swelling was minor. They walked back to the office and Michael apologized to Henry. I'm really sorry for what Jayden did. He then turned his gaze to Jayden, who had barely said a word since he arrived. Jay, tell me what really happened. Why did you do it? Michael asked calmly, but with a stern voice. Jayden looks up slowly and responds, Dad, he always bullies some of my classmates. He hits us and makes fun of us. Sometimes he spills our meal on the floor. He was beating up Tunde and took away his clutches. I had to step in and ask him to give it back and leave Tunde alone. He tried to hit me, but I defended myself and pushed him. That was how he fell. He then yelled out for Mr. Henry. Michael couldn't believe what he had just heard. He turned to Mr. Henry and asked if this was true. Mr. Henry responded, saying there is no room for violence, regardless of whatever the case may be. Michael looked in disbelief. Then he pulled out his phone and called his secretary. Please, reschedule all my pending appointments today for tomorrow. He turned to Jayden, looking at him with so much pride in his eyes. He said, Jay, go pack your bags. For the rest of today, I will be taking you to the amusement park. We will have so much fun there. Then we will stop by your favorite ice cream factory. When we get home, I will school you in our FIFA game. Jayden's face lit up immediately with so much excitement, and in that moment, he appreciated his father. He gave him a tight hug. Mr. Michael, your son just reacted violently to another student, and we are trying to issue a punishment, yet you are trying to send a wrong message. Michael interjected without letting him speak further. A young boy showed an act of courage and bravery by standing up to a bully that was intimidating another physically challenged child, and you choose to punish him? We will need to revisit the ethics you teach in this school in the next PTA meeting, Michael says as he walked out of Mr. Henry's office with Jayden. It wasn't until later that Michael found out that the bully's parents were huge sponsors of the school, which explained why Mr. Henry was being very biased. But of course, he didn't care. He was a proud father with a brave son, and all he could think of at that moment was spending quality time with his son. Michael's boldness in standing up to biased authority figures teaches parents the importance of advocating for their children when they are unjustly treated. This shows children that they are valued and that their parents will protect and support them. Through his actions, Michael showed Jayden the importance of standing up for justice and fairness. Parents must lead by example, demonstrating the values that they wish their children to adopt. Michael's decision to reschedule his work commitments illustrates the importance of reevaluating priorities. Work is essential, but being present for important moments in a child's life is invaluable and leaves lasting positive impressions. Michael saw this as a good opportunity to teach Jayden a valuable life lesson. Sometimes in life, you might be put down even when you do something good. You must understand that the good you do is for yourself, your core belief, and not for others to validate. The universe watches you closely and will always reward you for the good you do.